Hey guys, Fee here. Today I'm going to be doing the Scorn of Gilgamesh. I don't like Scorn of Gilgamesh. I think it's a pretty rough, specific, ridiculous fight, but this is set up that I believe can beat it. I have not beaten it yet, so this will be, if this is successful, this is going to be like the kind of first clear. Not something I usually do, but I really don't want to ever have to touch this boss again after I'm done. So anyways, I've got Demon Rain here. He's equipped with a Genji shield just for death prevention. With the strategy I am trying to use here, hopefully I will not need the Genji shield. I will not need any kind of death protection, but we'll see how this goes. Nothing too special here, just 100% evade and some kind of elemental weapon. I've got Lid here. She is equipped with light resist and a pod for the pod's other abilities. It's damage prevention and regen specifically. Got a Necro Dagger and a Zul Crossblade on her. Hopefully I will not have to use either of those things, but just for reference, a Necro Dagger is a Fire Dark Dagger from the Halloween event. And the Zul Crossblade here is a wind kind of weapon from another event. It was from an event a little while back. I don't remember the exact one, but anyways, point is it's a wind weapon. This will be if the need arises to seal fire and wind abilities. Again, hopefully it will not come to that. Hopefully I won't have to use either of these things. I have Maritime Strategist Nichol here. He's going to be important for flood chaining. So his magic it's not amazing by any means, but it'll do for being a flood chainer, and he's going to also be buffing and mitigating damage. I have Sid here, and Sid is the important part. You need a very specific build for Sid if you're going to be doing what I'm doing. Unfortunately, there's really no kind of leeway in this kind of build. Got the Stoss Spear from Aranea. Unfortunately, another spear is probably not going to work. I have tried with the Vargiana or whatever it is, like Nalu's STMR, and it's not great. But anyways, that's not important. What's important is that if you have a Sid, if you have a 7-star Sid, you need a build with very high attack and as much jump damage as you can throw on. You may need STMRs. The point is you need very high jump damage Sid to do what I'm going to be showing in this video. And then I have Fina here, Seabreeze Dark Fina, the Summer Fina, or Dark Fina anyways. Unfortunately I do not have her whip, so instead I have a Wizard Rod and a Flame Whip on her. And then I've tried to buff her HP a little bit at the cost of some of her magic, as you can see reflected in her stats. Yeah, and I have a Dancing Doll just to deal a little more damage to humans, because Gilgamesh is, in fact, a human. My friend here is actually pretty useful. She is a Lotus Mage Fina, and she's got the Summer Whip on, because I don't. And she's also geared for pretty high HP, just for survivability. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This one has a Genji shield. Hopefully I will not need that, as I said before. But anyways, this is the team. Let's try this out. So from the get-go, Gilgamesh is going to buff himself. We're immediately going to have to dispel that. And unfortunately, he mitigates all damage done to him for the first 3 turns, so we're not really going to be able to do what we're trying to accomplish immediately. Instead, we're going to have to stall a little bit. So I'm just going to use Sid to dispel that. Demon Rain is going to have to cover everyone. And it's not necessarily bad that I have to wait, because I'm going to need one of Demon Rain's buffs in order to buff up my Sid, and that is a cooldown ability that you need to wait 5 turns for. So I'd have to wait anyways, so it's not too big of an issue. With Nichol, you're just going to want to mitigate for now. Just mitigate as much damage as possible, buff up your units, make sure they're protected. We can't limit burst with Lid immediately, so we're just gonna have to use her attack and magic absorb to try to break Gilgamesh a little bit here. My Seabreeze Dark Fina, she doesn't really have to do anything right now. I'm just have her do Hex and Lide, just to buff elemental resist a little bit. And then with my friend Fina here, she's going to use the Rainbow Whip. And the Rainbow Whip is very useful. It's going to deal every element of damage to Gilgamesh, and that's perfect because right now we would want to seal Gilgamesh's wind, earth, fire, water, and light, which normally would involve a lot of juggling with units, using Rem with like the Lion's Saber from the Elfin event, and then the Necro Dagger, and it's really complicated. So we have a Rainbow Whip, we're just going to make it easy. He's not going to be able to do any of his special abilities for now. Now this doesn't mean he's not dangerous. While Demon Range is going to cover most of this damage, he cannot take the Genji bows, which means that we are going to be taking damage every turn, and we do need to deal with that. So it's a good thing that Nichol can regen some HP with that Soulful Stance. That's going to be really helpful for us. The other thing that's going to be helpful is that pod that I threw on Lid. Now the pod has an on-demand physical AoE cover, or not an AoE cover, a mitigation, which is going to be good because normally to do that with Lid I'd have to super invent and rely on RNG, and that kind of sucks. So instead we're just gonna do this. It's not as effective as Lid's high output shield device, but it's gonna do what we need it to do. Demon Rain's gonna defend because we don't want anyone taking any kind of damage. They shouldn't be because we're sealing Gilgamesh's elements, but just in case. In the meantime, Nichol is going to buff light and dark resistance, just so that no one can take any damage from his magic kind of attacks. And I'm just going to buff some... Actually, I'm going to buff defense instead of that. Yeah, just buffing, just increasing stats, making sure no one dies, and increasing unit burst a little bit as I go. Sid doesn't have to do anything, he'll just defend this turn. So my Seabreeze Dark Fina also doesn't need to do anything, so she's going to wait. She will eventually be more useful. And then I'm going to Rainbow Whip again with my friend Fina. And I usually do that every turn, or as many turns as possible, unfortunately. It's a little bit annoying when that's on the healer, but we make do. So Demon Rain's being nice and helpful here. He's doing work. He's going to get us some Lamp Burst Crystals. That's very good for us. Because next turn I'm going to use this Lotus Mage Fina and just put re-raise on everyone for safety. After 3 turns, Gilgamesh is going to do a powerful kind of AoE attack and then kind of remove his physical and magical mitigation, but also kind of buff himself again, and we're going to have to deal with that. And it can be kind of dangerous. I don't want any of my squishier units like Lid or Dark Fina to die, so I'm just going to do this instead of using the Rainbow Whip. And unfortunately what this means is my Demon Rain is going to be taking a fire attack, and that fire attack is going to kind of take all his MP, which is going to suck, but fortunately we do have Nichol and Fina and Lid who can all regen some MP, so we're going to be relying on them next little while. Again, Fina doesn't really have to do anything here, but I'm going to try to advance some Limit Bursts a little bit, so I'm going to be using her Limit Burst here, because I don't really have any other opportunities to do so. With Nichol, I'm going to Barrier Stance, and not really much else I have to do here. I guess I could Impregnable Stance again. I'll do that. And Sid again has to do nothing to do, so he's just gonna wait. So there's his elemental attacks. Like I said, Lid did die there, and that could have been a little bit disastrous, so fortunately we were able to deal with that. And as you can see, from the fire counter, Demon Rain took quite a bit of, he got mana burned, essentially. And that's fine, because we do have some mana regen on us to deal with that problem, but it's a little unfortunate. It is what it is, though. Okay, so now he's debuffed himself. Now the real kind of fighting, I suppose, begins. So now I'm going to start preparing for kind of my next moves. What I'm going to be doing with Sid is I'm going to be trying to kill Gilgamesh, hopefully in one turn, but probably in two. And that means I'm going to have to buff him up significantly in order to make this possible. For now, I'm going to Soulful Stance and Duality Stance, just to, again, buff everyone up, make sure no one's in danger of dying immediately. The moment I'm going to use Dispel Lance on Sid again, I could start preparing for his kind of big attacks, but I'm not going to do that yet. Instead, I'm just going to use him to dispel quickly. And now that he's dispelled, I am free to Mechalo Custom Hammer with Lid. It's going to provide a pretty nice break for us. A bit better than her previous kind of single breaks. That's going to be helpful in making sure we live. Again, Fina has to use a Rainbow Whip. I don't love where my Seabreeze, Dark Fina's health is, but she does have re-raise, so I'm not too worried. I'm going to have her use this ability called Summer Fairing, and I believe I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. Apologies to any German speakers. Anyways, so I'm going to use this here. What it does is it's essentially a water version of Lost Paradise on regular Dark Fina. It reduces water resistance by 110% for 8 turns. And it's gonna put re-raise on her. Not that we needed that, but, you know, it's there. And this is gonna be good for us because I'm going to be using Nichol to put an element on Sid, so he can actually do some damage, and that element happens to be water. So that's perfect. We're gonna do that. And Demon Rain... Jeez, okay, let me think about this. Okay, this is not a great position to be in. I neglected to heal my Demon Rain's MP to a point where he could, A, recover again. This is kind of bad, but let's see what we can manage here. Hopefully not everyone dies. Okay, we were lucky. Demon Rain still protected everyone. That was kind of nice of him. Let's not do that again. Let's, Sorry about that. That was a little bit scary there. But fortunately, we're in a better position now. We can use Ancient Formula with Nichol, and we're gonna be okay. Nichol's one burst is great for, you know, healing MP, so... we should be in a bit less dangerous waters now. Yes, there we go. Perfect. And then now we can actually physical cover again with our physical cover tank. Sorry. That was dumb. Anyways, so now we're gonna be exploiting another mechanic in this fight, because again, I'm not really sure I can one-turn KO. I'm probably not going to manage it. It's a little bit variance-based. So, Gilgamesh has a mechanic where if you hit him with a damaging item 3 turns in a row, he will not attack you the next turn. It only works once per kind of phase, but we're going to be exploiting it here. We're going to be using Lid mostly to exploit that feature, and just kind of hit him with fish scales until he freaks out and stops hurting us, and that'll buy us one extra turn to be able to deal him more damage. I'm also going to use my Seabreeze Dark Fina here, and she's going to Borea Scale. This may not seem relevant, but Sid's Limit Burst is locked to Wind Element, so if I use Borea Scale, that's going to just imperil him for wind, and that's going to be nice. That means that, as you can see here, he's going to resist water, or be weak to water and wind, so if I do have to deal that second kind of round of damage, it's going to work out okay. And I'm going to start with Sid. I'm going to use Sky Dragon Squall. That's going to prepare him for his big kind of leap. And again, just use Rainbow Whip with my Lotus Mage here. Again, Demon Rain's just gonna counter, help out a little bit. Okay, so here's the fun part. Now I'm going to show you everything I need to do to set up this Sid jump. So first of all, Rain's Demonic Surge is going to be super helpful. It's going to buff him by 150%. That's more than any kind of attack buffs that Nichol's easily able to do without kind of putting everyone in severe danger. And it's also going to give Sid an extra, I believe it's 75% Man-Eater, which is going to be great because Gilgamesh is a human. So we're going to do that. Then Nichol is going to Water Infuse on him, give him Water Element that we need on him. Lid, again, is going to use a Fish Scale for the second item. Seabreeze, again, doesn't really have much to do now that I've Borea Scaled and Summer Fairened. So I'm going to, again, use a Limit Burst, try to get that up there. And again, with my Lotus Mage, I'm going to use her Limit Burst as well. And that's going to make sure that on this turn we do not all die. Or at least if we take enough damage to die, that we all come back. And we're going, because that's going to be important, we need to set up a chain. We're going to be flood chaining, so at least Nichol and Fina have to be alive. And we need one other person alive to deliver the last item. So we're going to do that. And now Sid is ready for his big jump, his true Spine Shatter. And he's going to go up. So as you see again, he drained Demon Rain's MP, but that's not super important. He's done what he needs to do. He has served us well. And everyone died, but they came back, so that's why I used Lotus Mage, Fina's Limit Burst there, just for safety. And as you can see, I kind of needed it, so. And now we are ready. We are completely ready to go. We've got everything we need done here. I'm going to be chaining here with Sid. And Seabreeze Dark Fina here. They're going to be flood chaining, which is another kind of use for the water imperil we've got going. Sid is going to hit with water, and hopefully we're okay. We're not going to get into any trouble here. I'm going to have Lid do her Limit Burst. There's no real need to, but got to get that Limit Burst counter up to try to get that achievement. I don't believe I'm anywhere close, but we'll see. And then with my friend here, there's not really much I have to do. She can just kind of do whatever. And okay, so as you can see, my Sid was mostly successful. I got him to 15% health. That's pretty normal. That's to be expected. No, there's not really much else to say about that. He did his best. Variance was pretty helpful on our side this time. I had an attempt where I only got down to 35% health, and that was just a disaster. So this is a decent range. This is a good range. It may seem like we're in a really bad position now, but we're going to be okay. I believe we're going to be okay. So I'm just going to use, it doesn't really matter. I'll use Eternal Light here just in case anything goes horrifically wrong. So the items do not work for against his counters. He still countered, and it was a good thing we did that re-raise because we still need our Seabreeze. Okay, so as you can see, Gilgamesh did not, he didn't attack us that turn, and that's perfect, because now we still need to deal that 15% of damage. I'm going to show you here. We still have our water in peril, we still have our wind in peril, and that's going to be what's important now, because on Sid's Limit Burst, it's wind locked, so we kind of needed that. So now we're going to try again to cap a chain using flood chains, and I'm pretty bad at this, so it may take me a second attempt, and I really hope that doesn't happen because that'll ruin the niceness of this video, but I really don't want to do this again. So anyways, let's go, let's try this out. We're going to try to use Sid's Limit Burst to kill Gilgamesh, capping another flood chain from my Seabreeze and my Nichol here. Now unfortunately there is some delay here, so again it may take me a second try, but I'm going to try to get it in one and show you. And there we go! Gilgamesh down. Perfect! That's great. Again, guys, I really didn't want to do this again, so I'm really happy I got it on video for you. So there we go, Gilgamesh finally down. Now, I'm not doing this the slow way. As you see, this is kind of the cheese way to do this, but oh, this is great, guys. I just, sorry, my heart was really pounding there. You don't see me, but I'm like kind of grinning. I'm so done with this fight. Anyways, so that's Gilgamesh. If you do it the slow way, you really have to worry a lot about his different phases, trying to hit him while dealing specific elements of damage. It's kind of a pain in the butt, so I'm really happy I was able to show you this better way. Anyways, this is the team. I don't think I was anywhere close on my limit bursts, unfortunately, but let's see what we got for achievements. Oh, perfect! I wasn't even paying attention. This is great. Okay, great. Here we go. We completed the quest. We did only use 3 items to lock him in the first phase there. We dealt ice, lightning, and dark damage twice or more, of course, with the Rainbow Whip. And we used 8 or more limit bursts. Okay, guys, you may have questions, comments. Please feel free to comment. I will answer whatever I can. I'm not an expert on this game, but I'll do my best. If you liked this video, if you want to see more, please like the video. It really helps out with getting YouTube to show more people these kind of videos. And if you want to see more of this content, please subscribe. I'll be trying to do as much as I can in the future. Anyways, that's it from me, and be out.